Chris Sewall here, baseball card collector, investor, dealer in that order. Welcome, everyone. Just had a chat here with Jeremy Donson, the Texas Snowman, my boy. And yeah, we just talked about some industry stuff, a little bit of CIA update, and went over some of the Q&As that I couldn't get to in the last question and answer video. So yeah, hope everyone enjoys.
Okay, I have to ask you a question. I'm embarrassed I don't even know.
Yeah.
Where the hell did eat your vegetables come from, and what is that supposed to mean?
So I don't actually know. So for a while on the end of my videos, I would just throw out like five in a row, like
Yeah.
look both ways before crossing the street and be nice to your neighbors, eat your vegetables, and may the force be with you. That was sort of like I would just close with four or five random like cliches.
Yeah.
And then people started commenting on the vegetable one in the video a lot. So I just sort of made that the
Went with
norm.
that one.
And
So
then
you don't even really know what that's supposed to mean for
I
them.
mean I've been given that advice recently by a doctor. So I thought it was probably good to pass along.
I live in Texas. We eat a lot of cow here, so, I don't know.
Well, you can still eat cow, but just add some vegetables to it.
Yeah, yeah, I'll put maybe a side of guacamole or something for my chips or taco.
All right, well, we've sort of already jumped in here.
I know.
How you been? How you doing? What's up? I talk to you every day, so it's not like
I know.
not
We
like we need
talk
to
a
catch
lot.
up, but let the audience know how you're doing.
Yeah, doing really good. It's been such a fun journey, man. Just all the things that are happening are so exciting that we're doing, and it's you and I generally try to keep it pretty rare that we take a weekend to have meetings about work and stuff, but it seems like we've been having them more and more because there's just so many things happening, right? Which is awesome. It's great. It's
Yep.
fantastic. It's the right direction and just some really wonderful opportunities that we've been having come up with us. You know what I mean? But um, I just sometimes just still have to pinch myself that um, we own an auction house that's doing really well. Yeah, that's doing really well.
Yeah, talk a little bit about last month because last month was the record breaker. I guess every month's been a record breaker for CIA. But last month was I feel like a large step forward.
Yeah, so last month was definitely a large step forward. So to your point, every month from June 2024 when we started has been a record auction, except January because we kept it small. Because everybody said January's like the worst auction month, and it was fine. So I was like, okay, well, I won't do that again. But yeah, every month's been a record. But so this auction, the September auction, will be the first auction that's not a record auction. And that's okay to take two steps forward, one step back, kind of a thing. Because neither one of us were in a hurry to grow it. Like, early on, you were like, "Hey, there's no rush here. Like, it grows as it grows. Like, just let it naturally grow." So that's what we did.
Yeah, no, it's grown. I mean, it's grown much faster than I would have. I mean, I didn't have expectations, but if I had to guess on it, it's grown faster than I would have guessed.
Yeah, yeah,
You got a
it's
52
really,
mantle. You got a 52 mantle on your 14th auction. That's pretty awesome.
yeah. I was really excited about that. That was great, man.
Yeah,
I'd love to have a 52 mantle every auction. Like,
yeah.
just every auction have at least one. And that day will come. That day will come. As we have more and more big items on there,
Hmm.
more people with those big items will see it and see the prices it goes for, and will want to put it on there as well. Like, taking that mantle for example, it was a PSA 4 old label, off centered both ways, and it had a little bit of snowing, so it wasn't what either of us would call a strong four by any means. But what I'm most excited about is just how many people reach out with feedback, just saying that they love the auction house, they love the channel, and I've had a lot of people say, I don't even bid in auctions. I bid in CIA just because it's you and Chris. And I'm like, well, thank you. Right on, appreciate it. And you're like, yeah, now that I do, I love it. But I won't buy anywhere else. I'm like, cool, thanks. It's
Yeah.
okay if you do, but I understand, and I think that's awesome that it's just us.
All right. Well, let's pivot. Unless you have something else you want to add about recent CIA stuff, let's pivot to some hobby news stuff.
Yeah.
So you mentioned right before we got on, you mentioned that you've been asked like a bunch of times, and I have too. Where you think because clearly the hobby's booming right now, with record sales everywhere, and yeah, and people are asking, is this just another cliff that's about to fall off like in 2021, or do you think this will continue, or what's your sort of take on that whole thing?
A good barometer, if you will, of the health of the industry is how busy was the national.
Yeah.
and how many kids are there.
Yep.
Dude, there's been so many kids going that there's kid zones now, and has been, you know what I mean? Kid
Yeah.
zones and stuff. It was by far the best national, biggest national, or, you know, and so many kids. I mean, so many kids walking up with a case worth 100 grand. Like, we didn't see that back in the day, ever.
Yeah. No.
I
No.
didn't,
No.
you know. So yeah, it's very healthy for sure. Very
Yeah.
healthy.
No. If that's the barometer, then
If that's the barometer, it's good for a long time.
what's a barometer? Is a barometer? What's a
Maybe I'm saying the wrong word. I don't know. Something to gauge if it's going to be good or not moving forward. Yeah. So feel free to laugh at me if barometer
No. No.
was.
No. I brought up barometer. What is barometer? That's
I'm gonna err on the side of I said the wrong word.
an instrument measuring atmospheric pressure. Okay, yeah, we'll go with that. If that's the barometer, if the atmospheric pressure of the hobby is good, then then
Uh,
if the atmospheric pressure of the national is good, then that's a good indication that the
yeah.
hobby.
If it's a good atmospheric pressure and all the things that I don't even know what to say are right, then it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we got good atmospheric pressure, and yeah, so things are looking up.
Fantastic.
Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. And so it doesn't feel unnatural. Like I felt in
I don't
2020,
think
there
so.
was just a whole bunch of new people entering and spending money on things they had no idea what was going on, and you were seeing Zion based cards for $2,000 in a PSA 10, and you're like,
That was wild. That
that's
was
just out of
wild.
control. Doesn't make any sense. But I don't. You're not seeing that. Like you're
Mm.
seeing record sales, but they're on legit cards that have long term power to maintain value. Now they may go come down at some point, but they're not going to completely collapse the way the Zion. I mean, I think I was just watching a video yesterday. I'm forgetting who it was, but the Zion Prizm PSA 10 base card sold for like 2 grand or something in 2020, and now it's a $25 card. That's a 99% loss of value in 5 years. I don't think there's going to be anything like that.
I don't think so. I mean, you know, only the exception of they were an ultra hot prospect and now they're just terrible. You know, minus that, no, I can't really
Right,
see
right,
it
right, right.
being that
Or like a
extreme.
Wander Franco situation or something like that.
Under Franco situation, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I mentioned to you just before we got on, I was like, so I did a recent Q&A video, and I got
Hmm.
way too many questions to put them in a video, but I have a bunch of good ones left over. I thought maybe we could run through some here if you're up for it. All right, here's one from Bill. With the value tied to pop report numbers, how does PSA changing grading standards affect values? With pop reports not reflecting the ages of older slabs, we have no idea under what standards the other graded cards were graded, but how can we compare against other cards that were possibly graded with older standards?
Great question.
Yeah, yeah. What's your initial thoughts on that?
I mean, there is no set apart, right? To his point, new slab is this, old slab is this. I would say at that point, it's the you just got to look at the card and buy the card and not the grade at that point to determine the difference. A good example is the 52 Jackie that we just sold in CIA was an old label 6, but it was a beautiful old label 6. So that card went really high because the card justified that price, and the age of the label didn't really matter at that point. So I would say whether it's old or new or new or new, it doesn't matter. It's buy the card to depend.
So, do you agree that with the principle that PSA has gotten stricter?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even think that's debatable.
No, I mean, I've never felt throat punched so much in my life as I have the last 3 years
Yeah,
since stuff.
same. I'm getting killed.
I sent in a 55 tops Hank Aaron second year
Yeah,
and graded with PSA all 3 times, and I got a 6, a 5, and a 4. So
fun.
it got progressively worse. So I was just like, you know what? I
What
cracked
did
it.
what
I
do you
sold
feel it should be?
it.
'Cause if you cracked it out of a 6 holder, that means you think it's a 7.
Yeah. So when I initially submitted that card, when
Yeah.
I initially submitted it, I submitted that and 6 other cards, and one of the other cards was a 55 tops Willie Mays high number, and they looked identically the same. Maybe even the Aaron looked a little bit better to me. It had one little corner thing that you could have an argument that maybe the Mays was slightly better, but they were both like these are going to get high grade. So I put them in the high tier on the first round.
Yeah.
I paid, I think it was the 250 tier to get them graded. So the Mays got a PSA 8, the Aaron got a 6, and I'm just looking at them, and I showed a couple people. I'm like, dude, look at this. Make this make sense to me that this got a 6 and that
Yeah.
got an 8, and they're like, Yeah, don't know. That looks so much nicer than a 6. And I was like, I know, and I scoped it and everything. Well, then I got a 5 and then a 4, so
Crazy.
make that make sense, you know. So
Wow.
yes, they are consistently stricter, but they're definitely just. I don't think they're ever going to be consistent. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, you ready?
Unless they adapt some type of like tag type system where AI does it, but I don't think that. I don't know if they're going to do that fully or not. I don't know.
I think that they've even said they're not going to do that. They'll take I don't know what you AI or computer
Mhm.
grading, whatever you want to call it, into account, maybe for things like centering or to confirm authenticity on the card. Like a computer can do that probably as well as a human, but they always want to have a human grading it in the end of the
Mhm.
day.
Yeah,
Uh, are you ready for another question?
ready.
This one's from Rich. There have been many ideas tossed around regarding how to regulate braking, or even whether it should be legal. What about a requirement where the breaker would have to disclose how much they will profit on each break, or how much they paid for the product that's being broken? Of course, no one is expecting breakers to not to profit. However, I feel that they had to discuss information like this. Buyers would be quite surprised in some cases, and it would have the effect of lowering prices not just for those who buy into brakes, but for those who buy sealed products themselves, as braking has been linked to much higher sealed prices in the past few years. What do you think about the concept of regulating braking?
I mean, I think it would be a good thing. I think that, one of the most one of the highest potentials for negative experiences long term is people that buy into brakes and the brakes are overpriced and maybe they don't really know that the price they're getting per box is like astronomically higher than the box is worth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I mean, I would love to see Tops and Panini and these other brands tell the breakers, "Hey, you're allowed to up it by 30% as far as break value. Whatever the retail value is of this box, you can raise it 30%." I don't think that day will ever happen, to be honest with you.
yeah.
But I think it would be healthy if they did that, and I think it would be a good thing if they did that. Yeah, absolutely.
So you like the idea? Actually, I hadn't thought of that. You like the idea
I
of
do.
the manufacturers
Yeah.
having some sort of rule, not like government oversight, but like the manufacturers having some sort of rule to
I, I think if they snip it at the beginning, at the top of the ladder,
yeah,
then that's really the only way that that would really ever happen. Because a ton of breakers are just simply never going to do that
yeah,
because they don't want people to know that they're making 300x per box
which is a nice
or
return.
whatever they make. I mean, different breakers make different amounts. Some are fair, some are less than fair. So
Yeah,
some could be more fair. So what is fair? That's relative anyway, right? But definitely some of them are making a large percentage, and they sell as many boxes as they can because they just print money at that point and
yeah.
have risk.
So CIA has never gone down the braking route and has never really considered it, nor have I, nor have you personally. Why do you feel that is, or is there a
There,
reason, or is this
there's just, I mean, I personally think there's just way too much negative stigma around breaking.
yeah?
It opens up way too many doors to potential fraudulent acts, potential dishonest acts. I just don't want to even touch it. I'd just rather not touch it.
Yeah, for me, it's sort of that combined with it's just not my thing in general.
And another reason why too is because at the end of the day, buying a case and opening it is a losing gamble.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, at the end of the day, you're more likely to lose than win.
Well,
So the last thing I
only
want to
99 out of 100 times. Let's be fair.
right. So the last thing I want to do is profit on people who I know most of them are going to lose. Now, at the end of the day, I talk to a lot of people that buy into breaks and they're like, dude, I love doing it. It's literally a form of gambling to them.
For me,
And they tell me that. They're
yeah,
they're like, hey, I'd rather go spend $500 on a few breaks than at the blackjack table. So this is a new form of gambling for me where I actually get to walk away with something of some level of value most of the time, and that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. So it's not like it's overall it's just a bad thing and it should be banned totally. It's just not something that I want to contribute to personally.
fair enough.
Yeah.
All
What
right,
about you? You same?
I'm very much this. I mean, for me, if for me, it's more. It's just not my thing. Opening wax is not something I've been interested in a long time. So it's just not something a path I would go. And then
Hmm?
yeah, as a secondary reason, a lot of the things you're saying, I think it opens up the doors to a lot of criticism and
Yeah.
Are you taking advantage of people? And
Right.
I just don't want to sort of go there. But I don't have a problem with it at all. It's a major part of the hobby. To me, it's perfectly fine over there. It's just not my
Yeah.
thing.
Exactly the same. Overall, it's fine to break stuff. I've had a lot of consignments. You're like, dude, I won this $10,000
Yeah,
card
no, all the
for
time.
$50. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I'm like, man, that's awesome. Wow, you're in it really good. Let me double your money. Just
yeah,
kidding. Let's put it in the auction,
yeah,
or I'll buy it or whatever, But anyway, so it is fun to hear those stories, and it is fun to see how excited they are. Dude, I won this in a break. Oh my gosh, it's awesome. I had so many strikeouts and I got this awesome card. So at the core of it, there's nothing wrong with breaking. I agree 100%. But there's so many breakers that have done things to make it overall kind of seem to be a negative in the eyes of many people, not all people, but
hmm
many people. There are some great breakers out there that are honest, trustworthy, and you can buy into their breaks, and there's nothing to really worry about, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, ready for the next question?
ready.
This is from Farron, who's a good viewer. I was hoping you could provide some insight because I'd like to start dabbling in some early 60s set building. As a set builder, I'm always thinking about the gap between the value of a set and what it costs me to build it over time. I don't keep records, but I feel like the 1975 tops is cheaper to just buy the complete set rather than build it. How would you describe the value of a raw vintage set from the 50s and 60s relative to the breakup value, and how does that vary by set?
You want me to answer that?
Sure, or I can go first, whatever you want.
Whatever you say.
Go, you go.
Okay. There's a general rule of thumb, right? If you build a set one card at a time, it's unlikely that you're going to get your money back out of that set, right?
Yeah,
If you buy a set at one shot, it's more likely that you paid less for that set than you would have had you bought each card one at a time. Especially if you're buying cards, paying sales tax and shipping for only a few cards at a time or one card at a time, because that cost should be included in what you paid for it, but it isn't included in what the set's worth. Buying a starter set or a partial set, or even a complete set that has mixed ranges and keep the ones that you want and sell the rest to recoup some of your money, that would be a much more economically sound way to build a set without having to pay a bunch of extra money that you would otherwise have to pay, right?
yep, yeah, and I agree with everything Jeremy said.
Yeah. Well,
I have
when's
I
that
have nothing
ever?
to add. I mean, that's basically exactly right. If you're gonna buy a set, if you're gonna put a set together from the 60s one at a time, you're gonna pay a lot more than if you just buy the set outright. But the fun of putting a set together is has
Yeah.
been a big part of the hobby for a long time. People would want to do that. Tons of people do it for fun and the nostalgia aspect, and it's a great hobby thing. And so I understand and recommend people do that. And if you want to keep some costs down, I would say look to buy a starter set. And again, this wasn't a self promotion thing, but it's a lot of I sell a lot of starter sets, and they sell because there are a lot of people who have that
Mhm.
mentality. I want to put together a 62 set, but I don't want to buy 600 cards one at a time. Why don't I just buy 350 off the bat, and then I'll fill in the holes as I go. And
Way better way.
you'll probably still spend a little more that way than if you were to just buy the set outright, but it's way more fun, and that's the thrill of the chase is there. And you
I
can
mean,
also sort of pick, okay, I want to get nicer. You can pick your condition a lot more specifically.
absolutely. I mean, it kind of is no different than breaking or buying a box and opening it yourself, right? It's the fun of doing it, not necessarily you're doing it from a pure ROI standpoint.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Right.
there's tons of set builders I know, they will always buy one card at a time, and that's fine. That's what they enjoy to do. They should do what they enjoy to do. But yeah, to answer your question, that would cost you more money,
And
almost certainly.
another point of that is if you're a dealer like we are, and you get a set in from the 60s, unless it's low grade, you're probably going to do better to break it up
Yeah,
because
most of the time.
you'll make more money breaking it up because there's more money in selling it one at a time than as a set, which links back to yeah, it's cheaper to just buy it, but it's just not as fun if that's
Mhm.
the enjoyment what you want to get out of it.
Yeah,
All right, ready for next one?
ready.
How about here's one from Jason, pretty simple one. Do you prefer a complete set in a box or a binder? Which sells better and financially better for storage?
I 1000%
Same.
prefer to have sets not in binders because I have to take cards out of the binders 600 and something times. So very much a fan of not being in binders. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. As far as safekeeping, if you store the cards, whether it be in a shoebox, tightly fit, or in top loaders or whatever, you really shouldn't have any damage to the card.
Yeah, if for me it depends on what where you're coming from with the question. If it's like for your personal collection use, they're both fine.
Fine.
Do whatever you prefer. If you're looking for and you want to sell them, yeah, the one row box is definitely better.
Yeah.
They weigh a lot less. They're much easier to
Cheaper to
ship.
ship.
Uh,
Yeah, cheaper to
uh,
ship.
they're safer to ship. Because in binders, things can, when you ship a binder, things can slip out
Yeah,
of pages very easily. So the one row box definitely preferred. And as a dealer, me personally, definitely prefer the one row box to a binder every single time.
yeah,
I like playing with I like thumbing through cards, and I want to be able to look at it that way, as opposed. And so you can't do that with a binder. And also, there's times with a binder where things are all in order, and you're like, oh, I forgot about this one card I need to reinsert, and then suddenly if you want to put it in the middle of the set, you have to move everything one over,
yeah,
and it's like an hour of work to insert one
yeah,
card into your set, which was
yeah,
never. So I'm definitely not a binder guy, and I never liked binders, but that's just a personal preference. There's from a safety standpoint, as long as you're using quality pages, if
yeah,
that's the way you want to store your cards, and you like to look at them that way, that's perfectly fine.
yeah. If you're gonna keep it forever and you like looking at it in binder, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. This is from Danny. When considering selling a hand collated set such as a 1983 Topps set that has some value, do you sell the set complete, or do you take out the big rookies like Boggs, Gwen Sandberg, and sell the rest as a lot? Or do you make multiple lots of Hall of Famers, stars, and commons? Yeah, what would you do with a 1983 Topps set?
I would sell it as a set almost every single time. The only exception is if it's truly a very, very high grade set, centered, awesome. I may take the Sandberg and the Gwyn, right, and the Boggs
Boggs
and maybe the Ryan.
or Ripken?
Or, who's that?
Cal Ripken, he was
Is
a
that a
shortstop for the Orioles. He's like one of
that
the
a
all-time
is that
greats.
a common?
He's probably the greatest player ever.
No, just kidding. If I saw real potential to pop some tens, is the only exception of when I would not sell that as a set. That's really it. I mean,
Yeah.
almost exclusively. Maybe if the condition range was extreme, I may do something, but almost always I would sell it as a set. Yeah.
Yeah, and same exact thing. There's just not there's you can extrapolate more value if you really wanted to, but
A lot of work.
the cost versus time is just not even close to worth it.
Yeah.
Like if you sell the set and you sell a set for maybe $50 on eBay or something, you could break it up and try to get 10 for the Gwen and 10 for the Boggs and 10 for the Sandberg and two for the Ripken and maybe make a Hall of Fame lot and get $15 out of it, make a commons lot and get $10 and you add all this up and maybe you get 60 or 70 or 75. But you're going to be putting in hours of work to make that extra $10. It's not going to be, and it's going to be really hard to sell. So it's just not worth your time for the
Yeah.
most part, unless you're doing it for fun, in which case, of course, it's worth your time. But
Hmm.
yeah, and same thing. I wouldn't break it up unless there were true like 10 potentials on the key cards. But
Hmm.
yeah, we're on the same page there. We should find things we disagree on more
I know.
often. Make it
I
more interesting. No, you're an idiot.
I'm the smartest, Chris.
Yeah.
Me,
Yeah.
Snowman.
Okay. Well, that's a good. We did some good Q&A there. What is there anything you wanted to add about upcoming CIA stuff, or anything you want to let people know, or any other topic you wanted to hit real quick?
I appreciate. I mean, there's so many bidders and consigners that have come from baseball card collector, investor, dealer in that order who eat their vegetables every
Yeah.
day. You know, that are just really the heart and soul of CIA, and I'm truly grateful for every single one of you guys. Y'all are awesome. I am honored to have your support, and just love having you guys be a part of it. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's all I would say. I mean, I'm just grateful for the solid bidder and consigner pool that has derived from this channel.
Yeah. 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 Very cool. All right, man. I know you got something. You got to be somewhere, so I'll let you run. But thank you for coming on as always. And yeah, peace out.
Pleasure, buddy.
Peace out, brother.
Stay awesome.